Congratulations, Cowboys fans. You just signed the football world's most interesting man. Mike Fisher reporting from the Fishbowl in Frisco, right down the street from the Star. Ty Nsekhe has an office in his home, and he's got his old jerseys up on the wall of all the teams he's played for. And I believe he's going to, in a minute, have 12 jerseys hanging in his office. Ty Nsekhe, a couple years ago, signed a 2-year contract with the Bills. I believe it was a $14 million contract, something like that. He was 33 at the time. He had one decent year with the Bills, 1 year where he didn't contribute much. Now he's back on the street. He had played for Washington for a time and played against the Cowboys. But he's also played for, since coming out of Texas State and doing a junior college thing, maybe even a community college thing, the Corpus Christi Sharks, the Dallas Vigilantes, the Philadelphia Soul, the San Antonio Talons, the Indianapolis Colts for a minute, the Rams for a minute, the Saints for a minute, the Montreal Alouettes in the CFL for a minute, then back to the AFL, and somewhere in here was also AFL 2, the Los Angeles Kiss, then to Washington, then to Buffalo, and now to Dallas. The general manager of the Bills, Brandon Beane, said, this is a guy who has persevered. Oh, yeah, you could say that. I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head. I don't know, and I've got a couple notes here. I don't know that I could do this completely chronologically, but I'll try. His dad is from Nigeria, so he was, and the kid, born Atayu Nkiri Nsekhe, last name spelled Nsekhe, Nsekhe. He goes by Ty. Played one season at Texas State after having played high school football in Arlington. Him and some buddies robbed a fraternity house. They took a computer and they took a TV and they took some school books and some junk. A PlayStation. Then he tried to pawn the PlayStation, and that's how he got caught. He was 18. And he got busted. And, jail. He eventually got out. At some point in this path, he does some community college football, and Patrick Creighton, the former Cowboy receiver, helped guide him there. So he's got a guardian angel here trying to help him. Again, as he's growing up, close family members who died from drugs. His aunt was on heroin. His uncle was a crackhead, raised by a single mother, Diane. Apartment complex in Arlington that was hard scrabble, we could say. And then certainly, I think, Brooklyn, probably a little tough too. He got jobs after he got out of jail that has been characterized as in the music industry. I think he was a bodyguard. And I think he was a bouncer. I'm not sure about the music industry, but whatever. He steals gas from a 7-Eleven. Just being a dumb kid. Back to jail. He gets out thinking that at age 23 or whatever, I'm done with football. And then he tries out for the Dallas Desperados. The Dallas Desperados tell him, oh, you got a little something. It's not going to work with us, but stick with it, you got a little something. And Will McClay, I believe, is 2010 maybe? 2009? Whatever. Will McClay is in charge of the Dallas Desperados. So here's another guardian angel saying, you got a little something. And I bet it was Will McClay. And that sends Ty Nsekhe on this path where he ends up in AFL 2 and the AFL and San Antonio and these minor league teams just trying to hang on. Twice comes through Dallas. The tryout with the Desperados, then a couple years later, the Dallas Vigilantes, who I think replaced the new name for the Desperados. He gets his big shot after being a bouncer. And again, I'm assuming if you were a guy who went to clubs in Arlington in 2010 or something, you probably know Big Ty Nsekhe, because he's 6'8" and 330. And he's always been that big, and he's got good feet, and he comes across as a very bright guy that is just stumbled into some, or when he was younger, stumbled into some really bad mistakes. He says the Desperados, by the way, I think in 2009 or whatever, that they wanted to see film on him. They had him work out, and then they wanted to see film on him. And he said, I don't have any film. Because he played 1 year at Texas State and then got in trouble. So this was somebody that nobody knew much about, except here he is, Ty Nsekhe, and he's this gigantic man. So eventually he gets a crack at it again, climbs the ladder a little bit, gets an NFL cup of coffee, and then flops again and ends up in the CFL. With Washington, he played, and your eyes pop out when you go see him on film at 6'8", 330, and moving like an athlete. The Bills thought he was going to come in there and fix their offensive line. That didn't work. So they release him, and now in what really counts as an under-the-radar move, because this is not, nobody even knows how to pronounce his name, Ty Nsekhe. He's coming to Dallas, coming to his adopted hometown team where he grew up here. It's not the Desperados, it's not the Vigilantes, it's the Cowboys. Where does he fit? The Cowboy coaching staff, Brandon Knight's not their guy. That's the scouting department's guy. But he's done some things. Terrence Steele, backup offensive lineman, backup tackle. He is this coaching staff's guy. They obviously handed him a lot of responsibility last year. Hopefully it'll help him grow. Cam Irving is gone now via NFL free agency. He signs elsewhere, away he goes. So there's a need for a proven swing tackle. Terrence Steele can't claim to be that. The coaching staff isn't sure Brandon Knight is that. Ty Nsekhe has indicated that he maybe is that. So let's assume the Cowboys are assuming that not only will Lyle Collins be fine at right tackle, but also that Tyron Smith is coming back and everything's fine. And the indications are that, as we've reported here, the Cowboys think he is. They don't have any issues there. Hopefully they're right. And if those two guys are plugged in, then you bring in your 6'8", 330-pound Ty Nsekhe, and he becomes your swing tackle. And you certainly are more accomplished and more proven, even through that long and winding road, than what they did at tackle last year when the two tackles got hurt. We've also talked about all the competition and all the movement, and what about the draft? If the Cowboys use the number 10 overall pick, not to take a cornerback like I think they will, but instead, hey, there's Rashawn Slater. Hey, that changes a lot of things. If Rashawn Slater rolls in here at pick number 10, I think he becomes the starting left guard. And then Connor Williams competes at center and or at tackle, and maybe he's the swing tackle, or maybe he's just the utility guy all across the board. But a lot of those dominoes have to fall for Connor Williams to change positions, for the Cowboys to draft a start-worthy offensive lineman, and for us to know exactly what Ty Nsekhe is. But right now, with all due respect to Steele and Brandon Knight, Ty Nsekhe is the most interesting man in the world of Cowboys football. Keep it here. We'll keep you through free agency and Cowboys moves As we get to the second tier of NFL free agency, the Cowboys figure to be more active, and we will keep you posted here. Fish out.